Good day all. So reach Surah 15 verse 3. We're talking about Surah 15 verse 3. Right? So remember I was talking about specific themes. Right? So in the last few videos we talked about it and dealt with the theme of oppression. Right? Oppression within the Caribbean and so on. Moving along and dealing with that, retaliating against that. Right? So the fight against that. And remember yesterday I told you all that the Quran caters for every personality type, right? And has verses and meanings, chapters, verses and meanings and interpretations for everybody on the face of the planet, right? And for every matter on the face of the planet, right? So next couple verses we are going to talk about and elaborate on is the concept about contentment and contentment of self now, right, in preparation for the afterlife, meaning life after death, or death itself, right? What is death itself or what comes after death, nobody knows, right? There's no one who has died actual physical death and came back and to tell the story about what happened after that. Now there are a lot of us who have been through near death experiences, right? We've passed through what felt like death. We've been subject to an experience that might be close to death, right? And we are here to tell a story, right? There are some who've written about these things, right? There are some who have written about having near-death experiences, talked about having near-death experiences, but there's nobody alive on the face of the planet who have actually physically died and return back and say, hey, this is what it has happened, right? So nobody knows in actuality what happens after that unknown, after your breath finally leaves your body. There's no one on the planet who actually have that knowledge, or nobody has been able to die physically and come back and say, hey, this is what happened, right? So this Surah 15 verse 3, right, is gracing us into welcoming us into this concept of contentment and being content, right? Because as you all know, people could have all the material things they want in the world and still feel suicidal, feel depressed, right? Feel like they have no friends, right? Feel like the world is against them, feel like, hey, this thing is really not making me happy, this is not making me, you could have a million material possessions in the world, right? And you feel like, hey, well, none of this thing really, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter to me, right? So this is on the other hand of what we've been talking about, right? Because one, we could fight for something that is owed to us, right? But the next step is, hey, if people want to do this, to do it. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. And is reaching a point of, hey, I am content with what I have, right? I am content with what I have, right? So this verse says, let them enjoy, let them eat and enjoy themselves and be diverted by false hope, for they are going to know, right? That's what this verse is about, right? So it's about, when I say eat, it doesn't mean actually eat food. It means gluttony in the sense of greed, overall greed for material possessions. Greed for food is gluttony as well, right? Gluttony, greed for material possessions, greed for money, all these things, right? Let people eat, meaning have anything they want in the world, right? Let people have any luxury, anything they want in the world, and be diverted by false hope, right? So this verse is actually preparing us for a life that is leading us to our, or preparing us for our own passing, or passing for those who we love and care about, right? Some people might call this process, or some people might call me and others who talk about this a lot, or think about this a lot, as sick, because you prefer to live your life in this material world without having to think about these things. And that's why when these things happen, right, when certain things happen, right, it comes as a shock to you and you don't know how to handle it, right? Because you didn't spend time thinking about it and you are frantic about it and this and that, right? But when you spend time preparing yourself, right, thinking about this, dwelling on this for a bit, right, thinking about these things, thinking about what comes after this life, right? If something were to happen to you or somebody close to you, You will be eased into it, and you will say, okay, I accept this, I am content with it, this is what Allah wills, this is what Allah wills, right? So this is what this verse is about. It is that contentment within oneself, right, in preparation for the final hour, what is referred to in the book as the final hour. And the final hour, everybody is dying every day, right? People, as you born, you begin to die, right? And people are dying, family, friends, relatives, people in other nations, right? People are enemies, friends, foes, right? Relatives, neighbors, family, everybody. Everybody is passing on, right? We are all passing on from this temporary world, right? So the world that we live in is very, very real, right? But it is a temporary experience, right? So Surah 15 verse 3, let them eat and enjoy themselves and be diverted by false hope, for they are going to know, right? So that is the awakening or the reality, right? That is the thing that if you all notice, right, when somebody in your family die, right, it jolts something in you, right? It is the one thing that makes you remember that which is real, right? Remember that which is real, or remember the inevitable reality, right? So we will continue this conversation tomorrow, and people do have to look at these videos, to be honest. This is really for a select few of people who want to prepare themselves for this. Otherwise, that comes unexpected. That is unexpected, right? But you can take time to prepare yourself for it, right? Meaning prepare your mindset. That's what it means, because you don't know when it's going to arrive, right? So to live with the acknowledgement of, hey, I am not immortal, and there will someday come a time when my consciousness will exit my material body, right, and find its place elsewhere in the universe, right? So take care, everybody, and have a good day.